I'm going to call this hearing to order, June 8th hearing for determination of the enforcement of Rule 29 and Rule 30 of the Lake Quinsigamond Commission rules. As a preliminary matter, this is Peter Collins. I am the chair of the Lake Quinsigamond Commission. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. So members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative if you're here. Mr. Pica.
Here.
Okay. Mr. Nelson.
Here.
Right. Ms. Emery.
Here.
Okay. Got a couple of people with no names on here. Angela, you are here. Officer Balieri.
Here.
Are you here, Mr. Nickerson?
Here.
Okay.
And the Worcester Police Officer.
All right. So, and what else do we have on here? Mr. Polito. Okay. I'm going to respond to him. Captain DeAndre, you're here. Okay. That was yes?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
We have 6 right now.
Okay. So we have a quorum, so that's good. We're good to go. Is the I guess for lack of a better term, the defendant present? Right now.
My name, so you'll recognize who calling speak.
I could, except I don't have his name here.
Is Alberto Herrera present? Angela, whose number is 603 ending in 25?
Can you identify yourself? Who's that?
603-265 is Naveen Rohatgi.
Are you here to speak at the hearing?
I have a concern and I want to speak about that.
Okay.
Can you say your name again and I'll add you?
My name is Naveen, N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, V as in Victor, E as in Edward, E as in Edward, N as in Nancy.
Okay, thank you.
You on this?
Yeah, Ken Polito has joined us.
Okay. So Ken's here. All right. And
Officer as well.
When the staff is Angela, we already talked to her name. Jessica, you're here?
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and anticipated speakers on here, we already went through that, we call it. So this is a public hearing and we will give the public a chance to make comments, but I want to make clear that regarding violations of the lake rules and the enforcement of Rule 29 and Rule 30, which the commission has the authority to ban an operator of a boat and the vessel itself for a period of 12 months. So that discussion and these particular circumstances are all we're discussing tonight. So if you want to talk about other circumstances, other safety issues on the lake, this is not the platform to do that. You can bring those concerns up at our next meeting. If you contact the Lake Commission or Jessica or Angela or myself, and we can put you on the agenda, and we'll be happy to hear your comments and suggestions about how we can make the lake a safer place. But tonight, any comments are going to be focused on this particular set of circumstances here, this particular set of violations of this individual and this particular vessel. So anything else that comes up on that is going to get ruled out of order. So with that said,
Question: is there a way to reach you through email or something? Because I have a concern which is different, so I can drop off.
okay, yeah, you can reach me at pncollins@outlook.com.
So I think I sent you an email about weeds. I never heard back.
Yes, I did do that. So this isn't the form that we're going to do with that. So I do plan on addressing that, but
Okay.
so
Okay. I will send you some pictures, and I'm all done. Thank you,
okay,
sir. I will
Thank
send you some pictures. And
perfect. All right, so okay, so this open meeting is being conducted remotely, consistent with the Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID virus, public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirements of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which can be you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely as long as reasonable public access is afforded to the public and can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. So, so from that perspective, we will go forward. But please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. After your presentation, members of the board, the committee will be given the opportunity to ask questions. So I'm going to go to them first. Probably what I'll do tonight, just so everyone understands, is I'm going to go to our representatives from the law enforcement community, Officer Valieri and Officer Amato, and Captain DeAndre, and they can state the what their case is, and then if the defendant is here, he will be next, and at that point I will poll the board, and each and every one of you on the commission will have an opportunity to ask questions or make a comment, and from there we'll reach out to the public at hand. And again, I want to remind everyone in the public and the members of the commission that this is narrowly focused on this particular incident and this particular vessel. After the members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment. That the chair will first ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and address is only. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, I will call each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comment. And state your name before speaking. So all questions will go through the chair to summarize that. If members wish to engage and colloquially, I can never pronounce this word, with other members, in other words, we don't have any separate conversations, sidebars, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. So I will go along with the meeting like we have in the past 2 meetings and ask you what your vote is. Okay, so with that, I'm going to move on to Officer Valieri.
How you doing, everybody? This is a request by the Shrewsbury Police Department for Alberto Cordero, 105 Piedmont Street in Worcester, Mass. I'm sure you all got the letter that Angela forwarded to you. That I'm just going to read it so everybody knows what it states. Mr. Cordero and Damned Auto Body Upon receiving this notice, the Lake Quinsigamond Commission and Shrewsbury Police Department are issuing you a no trespass order. Your right to operate MS 6369 of Lake Quinsigamond has been terminated. You have the right to appear for a public hearing July 8th at 7 p.m. per Rule 29 and 30 of the LQC Rules and Regulations. I'm going to read Rules 29 and 30, and then we'll move into the violations. Rule 29 states the Lake Quinsigamond Commission may ban an operator of any vessel from the waters of Lake Quinsigamond for a period of up to 1 year if the commission finds after a public hearing that a person operated a vessel in a manner that was negligent or endangered the public. Rule number 3, the Lake Quinsigamond of Lake Quinsigamond for a period of up to 1 year if the commission finds after public hearing that the vessel was operated in a manner that was negligent or endangered the public. Should you violate this order, you'll be subject to arrest or a fine of $500 or both. July 1st, which was certified, and this officer served Mr. Cordero in hand at the North Quinsig boat ramp on July 4th at 12:45 p.m. He was notified of the violations and of this meeting and advised what to do and how to get on. He was given a copy of the actual letter. The violations from Mr. Cordero and his, looks like it's a Baja pleasure boat, color white, 29 foot, MS 6369 Bravo Mike. 5 violations between 5/27 and 6/18 of this year. 2 written citations. One was for improper markings. The second was for speeding and endangering, and he was issued a verbal warning for racing. Other incidents were waking other boats on 5/27, racing other vessels, and verbal warnings were given for loud music by the same party. And that's the Commonwealth. Commonwealth is asking that we remove him for 1 year. His operation of that vessel, as well as any other vessels that he has. I know he has a jet ski as well, with no markings on it. We're requesting that he's banned from the lake for at least 1 year, as he's putting the safety of others at risk out there on the waterways. That's all I have.
Okay. Officer Fairley, just a couple of questions on the, or just actually one question really, is on the jet ski. When you said no markings, it's like no registration on the jet ski?
There was no markings, improper markings or no markings, which means it's not lettered with numbers.
Okay.
Or letters on the side. His boat, the Baja pleasure boat, also had improper markings. He was notified not to put the boat again in the water until those were changed to the proper markings. He was given 2 separate verbal warnings besides the written warning that he got. He was in the water twice since we told him to do that, and kept telling us that they were in the mail. But he was advised not to come back to the water until he had the proper markings, which he failed to obey.
Okay, so he still doesn't have proper markings. You saw him Sunday, they were still not, it's still not marked?
No, he did
Okay.
not.
All right. I'm gonna go through the commissioners. Did anyone have a comment? Mr. Pica? Oh, we can't hear you, Mike. You're on mute. I can see you moving, but I can't hear you. You got the line through it. Angela, can you, he's calling over, he's calling tech support. Can you unmute him? Angela? You're muted too.
I
There you
can't unmute people. You have to hover around the bottom of your
Okay.
screen to mute Mike.
Right. Yeah, it should pop up a little white thing at the bottom of your screen, Mike, should pop up, and right in the center of it is the little red phone. I mean, the microphone. I thought Angela had superpowers. All right, Mike, you know what? We'll come back and we'll come back to you. Officer Amato, do you have any comments or questions about this?
Officer Valier hit all the key points.
Okay.
I have nothing more to add at this point.
All right. Thank you. Captain DeAndre?
Yes, I have nothing to add either.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Polito?
Yes, I concur with the officer's assessment. I witnessed that boat do exactly what he said, and I think we should take the appropriate action.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Nickerson?
I agree with the consensus so far. Is the boat being operated by this individual at all times, or are there other people operating this boat? So if we were to ban the vessel, that means no one can drive the boat on the lake, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, then yes, I concur.
Either vessel, actually. Although I have a concern that if the jet ski has become registered and marked differently than it is now, I suppose are you confident that you can identify the jet ski if they put a registration on it? Would you know it was the same jet ski?
Yes, I'm positive.
Okay.
Any vessel that's owned by Mr. Cordero or operated by him
Okay.
will be banned from the lake.
All right.
Okay. That's clear to me then.
Okay.
Mr.
Thank
Chair,
you.
can you hear me? This is Michael
Okay.
Pike.
Okay, Mr. Piker, you're up.
All right. Well, I heard what Officer Sean Valier said, and I really have no further comment at this point in time. I trust his observations and judgment. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, is that it?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ms. Amory.
Now we can't hear her.
Yeah, got to unmute. Mike, can you tell her how to do that?
Bottom of the screen.
There you go.
Sorry about that.
Huh?
It was fighting me. I concur with everything that everybody has said. I think that it's important that people follow the rules on the lake in order to keep other people safe.
Okay. Is that it? Amanda?
Yep.
Yep. Good. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Nelson. you.
Officer Valerieri did a very complete description of what has taken place, and I concur with what everyone else has said.
Okay. I agree. I'm going to give Mr. Cordero one last time if he's present to, I guess, defend his actions. But is he on the call? Okay. Not hearing anything from that, I guess, unless he can't get his mic unmuted. I guess I will, entertain a motion to. I'd like to do this. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Angela. Yes. So the public comment. Does anyone have a public comment? And before we do that, Angela, I'm going to start with you. Do you have anything you'd like to add to this, or?
No, I agree with the police department.
Okay. So I will open it up to the public. Is there? I'd like anyone in the public that wants to speak to please identify themselves. Give me your name an address, and I'm going to just make a list of that, and then we'll just come back around. Okay, so you can have some time. So, does anyone wish to speak in the public?
And if you're on the phone, you have to hit *6 if you're muted to unmute.
Okay, so I don't hear anyone that wants to make a comment. So I'm going to take that as a if they don't want to make a comment, I guess. So we're good to go. Now I will entertain a motion. I want to do one rule at a time. So we'll start with Rule 29. Rule 29. I guess we're talking about banning both Baja with the registration that Officer Valieri spelled out, and a jet ski that with no markings, or any vessel that is owned by Mr. Cordero.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make that motion, ban Mr. Cordero and any vessel that he owns or operates from Lake Quinsigamond pursuant to Rule 29.
Okay, so 29, we're banning Mr. Cordero as the operator. So that's the motion.
Correct.
Okay, is there a second?
Second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, all those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Pica, how's your
Aye.
vote?
Aye.
Okay, Officer Valieri,
Aye.
Captain DeAndre,
Aye.
Mr. Polito,
Aye.
Mr. Nickerson,
Aye.
Ms. Amory,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
Okay, I'm aye. So voted, unanimous on that. Okay, Rule 30, to ban both the Baja and which is marked as Mr. As Officer Valieri outlined, and the jet ski, which is no marking, or any vessel that's owned by Mr. Cordero.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have a question. What is the date? I don't know if we put the date in on the first one.
Oh, I'm sorry. So from, I guess, today, or as of, we'll say July 9th. Okay? Does that make sense? From July 9th, 2020 to July 9th, 2021. And that motion would that date would be for both Rule 29 and Rule 30 in this case. So that's probably should be included in the motion.
Do we need to do the first one over?
Let's do that so we button up all the holes, I guess.
All right, well, here we go. Pursuant to Rule 29, I make a motion that we ban the owner, operator, Mr. Cordero, from the lake for a period of 1 year, starting on July 9th, 2020, and ending on July 9th, 2021.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right. So, Mr. Pica, your vote?
Aye.
Officer Valieri?
Aye.
Okay, Captain DeAndre?
Aye.
Mr. Polito?
Aye.
Mr. Nickerson?
Aye.
Ms. Amory?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Okay, I'm also aye, so that's again unanimous, so voted. And on to Rule 30, which would ban the vessels, any vessel owned by Mr. Cadera.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we, to Rule 30, that Mr. Cadero banned from the lake operating a vessel from July 9th, 2020 to July 9th, 2021.
Okay, so just so, because you kind of cut off for a second, so any vessel owned by Mr. Cadera for the time period of July 9th, 2020 to July 9th, 2021.
Correct.
Is that it? Okay, do I have a second?
Second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, motion's been moved and seconded. Mr. Piker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Officer Valieri,
Aye.
Captain DeAndre,
Aye.
Mr. Polito,
Aye.
Mr. Nickerson,
Aye.
Ms. Emery,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
and I'm aye as well. Unanimous, so voted. Just as a final comment before we adjourn is that this is not, and I believe I can speak for the entire board, that this is not something that we're, ever look forward to doing or pleased to do. It's just, it's a necessary thing here and the safety of all participants and the safe use of everyone on Lake Quinsigamond is paramount above everything. And it's unfortunate that we had to take this kind of a step because people just don't want to, follow the rules and just do whatever they want. So I hope this is everyone understands that, especially this year when there's it's a significant increase in the activity in Lake Quinsigamond, that everyone needs to use the lake in a safe and legal manner and considerate manner with all the people using the lake. So with that, I think our business is done, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second
Is
the
there a
motion.
second?
Chair.
Oh, right. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to poll again. Mr. Piker.
In terms of adjournment, aye.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Polito,
Aye.
Mr. Nickerson,
Aye.
Miss Emery,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
Okay, I'm also aye. So voted. We're adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Nice job.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.